Hello everyone and welcome back to MixBuzz TV mixing and mastering tutorials on YouTube. In this video I want to talk about the importance of critically analyze reference mixes. I'm going to show you a simple technique for analyzing your own tracks against your reference mixes. And this will be especially useful for those of you mixing at home on headphones or not too well treated rooms with cheap monitoring system. Now, first thing first, your monitoring system, which includes your speakers and your room, is the most important thing for any mixing engineer. And there will never be a substitute for that. To get that right should be your first priority when setting up your mixing space. Forget preamps, compressor, equalizer, this plugin, that plugin. You cannot mix what you can't hear, okay? So you need to have a good monitoring system, one you can trust, which doesn't mean you need to spend thousands of dollars on monitors, although good monitors do cost quite a lot of money. But as everything else in audio, there's a point of diminishing return. The important thing is that you need to have a monitoring system that you know well. That's the key. No matter how much it costs, if you know it well, your mixes will translate well outside of your studio. Think about this. Everybody does the car test. Why? Because they know their car system better than any other system. Because probably they had the car for years and they've been listening to music in their cars for years. So there's no other system or environment that they know better than their car. There's nothing special about the car. It's just the people know them so well. But anyway, no matter how expensive your monitors are, if you put them in a room that is not treated, it's not going to work. The room has much more impact on your listening environment than your monitors. So putting a $5-6K monitors in a naked room is just plain dumb. Don't do that. If you can't treat the room and you don't have budget for good monitors, then a good pair of headphones is your only other choice. But anything short of a reliable, good monitoring system in a good room is gonna be a compromise, hence this video. You have all heard that referencing your mixes with commercial releases is something you need to do, and that is absolutely correct. Nothing will give you perspective like referencing your own material against commercial mixes. That is something I advise you to do all the time. But if you're using headphones or you are in that room with cheap monitors that we mentioned before, even referencing commercial mixes will not tell you the whole story. Your room will mask some frequencies, exaggerate others, even on commercial mixes, and this can throw you off. What I want to show you today is a technique to try to better this situation, to get to know your monitoring system better no matter what that is. And while listening music on it for hours and hours, more like months and months, will help you tremendously with that. You need to learn to critically analyze commercial mixes as opposed to just listen to them. And you can do this both while you're mixing and on your free time. This will massively help you understand what the flaws in your monitoring system are, and with time, you'll learn to compensate for it at least to some extent. So for this technique, you need a simple set of plugins. You need a parametric equalizer and a mid-side encoder. And as usual, I'm using what I have. You can do the same thing with the plugins that you have. So for my mid-side encoder, I'll be using Brainworks BX Control V2 and Pro Q2 for my parametric equalizer. I put these two on my master bus, and the order is the mid-side encoder first and the EQ after. I have a bunch of already mastered mixes here. They are all mine from different years, different genres. I'm using only mixes I've done, not for self-celebrating, but just for copyrights on YouTube so that I can freely play them to you. So we have three dance EDM tracks, a couple of metal, a crossover track, a hip hop, and 2 acoustics. And with this technique, I will quickly show you what to look for in different genres, and at least I will give you some example to what you have to listen to. So let's start with the first one, which is the remix I've done for Felix the House Cat Silver Screen.
In the back shakes a tambourine, nicotine from the silver screen. Beat seduction in the magazine, endless pleasure in limousine. In the back shakes a tambourine, nicotine from the silver screen.
Okay, so we are listening to the stereo track. The first thing that I would do is just listen to the mono information and the side information. This will already tell you something about the mix. Sides only. Okay, so what we hear synths. The effects on vocals are on the side, so it means that's a stereo portion, and the synths are on the sides. And if you pay attention, even some verb or something like that is on the kick, because we hear the click of the kick. Let's open up Pro Q and take a look at the analyzer as well. Okay, let's switch and let's listen to the mono part of the signal. Let's hear the same bit.
In the back shakes a tambourine, nicotine from the silver screen. Beat seduction in the magazine, endless pleasure in limousine. In the back shakes a tambourine, nicotine from the silver screen.
So we hear the kick drum and the bass line are all in the mid. The vocal, there's a lead main vocal that is in the mid, and the snare too. So we have synths all pretty much on the sides, and the rhythmic part is in the mid. Okay? Now, this was easy. Mid, side, encoding. We listen to what's in the mid and what's in the side. The technique is this. Isolate frequency portions. Now, this can be as wide or as narrow as you want. It depends on how much you want to focus on something. Okay? So create something like this and sweep this around. Let's see for the sides. Low mid on the side. Okay, let's go lower. Okay, this is a very sensitive range. Let's hear what's in the mid in this range. Should be the kick. Right? I did it right. So, yeah. And you can hear there's no kick at all on the side. Some effects on the vocals, some rumble from the bass line, which probably has some information in the stereo field. Really, really, really low. It should be the thump of the kick. Okay. Let's go in the mid section and hear what's that is. Sides. Now this is interesting. Here in the mid, you can hear the scratchy synths that are pretty much only exclusively on the sides. Okay, the difference is night and day. Okay, that's pretty revealing. It tells us that this range that goes from 90 to 800, those synths, the low growling synths, are not present in the mid, because in the mid there's the bass line. The wobbly bass line. So it leaves the space for it. Okay, this tells us something. This is critically analyzing a mix. And why we isolate, on top of giving us the possibility to focus on certain frequency, one important thing is isolating. We take out the phenomenon called masking. When you play full bandwidth, you have high frequencies masking mids, low frequencies masking highs, and all the problems that your monitoring system has are combined and amplified. When isolating, you take some variable out of the equation, and you will be able to zoom in certain portion of the mix and understand which instrument have energy in that range without your brain being distracted, so to speak, by other frequency ranges. It's very much like mixing on the mix cubes. The little one driver speakers that you commonly see used in studios. You don't use those because they sound good. The legend is they reproduce perfectly what a consumer-like listening environment is. No, that's bullshit. And especially today, because we listen to 2.1 with subs on our computers, and we listen to headphones. It's because they allow you to focus on the mid-range. They take the low end out, the very top end out, and they focus on the mid-range, and that is the range the human ear is most sensitive to. Let's see some higher range. Let's try to see where the snare is. So here, there's some in the sides. Very interesting thing. See, here the kick drum. There's no kick drum in the sides at all. Let's wait it to come. We have big synths here, but no kick. A little bit of snare. Mono. Here's the click of the kick drum. Synths are mono-compatible, so there's some information in the mid and a lot on the sides. Okay, let's go higher. So there's the effects on the vocals. You hear the shimmery reverbs in the sides, and still the kick, the very top end of the kick, and the snare. Just the effect of the snare on the side. Okay, the transient, the strong transient of the snare is in the mid. Let's hear this synth, for example. Mono. And again, no kick. And a lot of stereo information on the synths. You can hear the sidechain compression controlled by the kick. Let's go lower. Okay, still some synths on the sides. And no kick, no snare. Let's go full bandwidth.
Extortion in a magazine, endless pleasure in limousine. Give the back checks a tambourine.
Okay.
Nicotine from a silver screen. Speed seduction in a
Let's hear just a
magazine.
bit.
Endless pleasure in limousine. Give the back checks a tambourine. Nicotine. Speed seduction in a
Okay, that's pretty revealing, isn't it? So let's go to another mix. This is Ladytron Runaway, the official remix that I did for them. Okay, let's hear the sides. So again, no kick, no snare in the mid. Lots of synths, lots of effect. The beat is in the mid. Very mono-compatible. That's use the bandwidth. Let's narrow this down a bit. So the kick, you can see from the analyzer, has the energy here in the mid channel. Sides, pretty much nothing. Okay, some residue from low synths. Let's go in the mid where the vocal is. So the vocals is very mono. It sounds a lot like a lot of effect, but it doesn't really. And what the vocal has is pretty much in the mid, because we don't have much in the way of information of vocals in the sides. These stutter effects are stereo. See? The vocal is all in the mid because I remember this mix. The mix is very ethereal. Her vocals, which is amazing, it's very soft, it's very light, and the mix, it has a lot of stuff going on, has a lot of percussion, lots of synths, so it's kind of difficult to make it intelligible, but buried in the music like the genre requires. And for this reason, I decided to, keep most of it in the mid channel. Sides, okay, almost nothing, but it sounds pretty stereo-y, the vocals, when you listen to it in full band. Okay. But again, there's so much stereo information with the synths that if you put the vocals too wide, it's gonna disappear. Okay, let's go on and let's see a little higher frequency. We should find the snare. Still vocals, we are stereo right now. Let's go sides. Some verb stereo on the vocals and the synths. And you have here the sizzling stuff. Okay, pretty interesting. Always notice that there's no kick and snare pretty much at all on the side, just some effect. Let's go mid. And here you have the snare, the hats. Let's go to a metal mix now. Okay, so what we have on the sides here, obviously electric guitars, big fat electric guitars on the sides, some room, some effect, some room on the drum, and the stereo vocals. Mid, we have strong kick, strong snare, big bass, and mono vocal. So as a first thing I would do is to check what's in the mid and what's in the side. That's simple. It will probably tell you a lot already from the start. Guitars and effects usually are gonna be on the sides. The strong element like bass, kick, snare, and lead vocals are gonna be in the mid. But how much of something is in a given frequency is what we are interested in. So let's go, for example, low mids, and let's try to understand where's the kick and where's the bass. So mono, some rumble, of course. So there's the body of the snare in the mid channel, but not on the sides. Okay, that space is taken by the guitars. Here we have some bass, some vocal, and the body of the snare. Let's go lower. Okay, here's the bass. Alright, strong in the mid, solid. Sides, no bass, no kick, just the guitars, just the growling. Let's go lower, kick and bass. Just some rumble. Here we start to lose everything on the sides as is supposed to be. Let's try to find the snare, the top of the snare. There you go. Mid. You have the snare. And here you can hear how the guitars are not choking the snare because they are mostly on the sides. A very sensitive range, this one. All right. And the vocals is pretty much in the mid. Only. It means that most likely it had mono effect. Let's see another mix quickly. Okay. So we have massive guitars, massive bass, massive drum. Everything is big. How that is possible? Let's take a listen to mid and side. What's in the mid? We have strong kick and snare, bass, but also guitars. So the guitars in this case are not only panned left and right. Okay, there's a lot of guitar information here. Let's hear the sides. Okay, so this is what gives us this bigness impression, is all the effects on the drum. The snare has this massive verb and is only on the sides. And of course the guitars. And again, let's try to listen to the low mid range mono. Listen how much of the electric guitars there is in the mid channel. This is not common, okay? These were like quad tracked guitars and probably has something like 6 microphones on each cabinet. It was crazy. But the point is, they're very monocompatible, which is not common for electric guitar in metal, pan hard left and right. Let's hear where the kick is. The bass is taking a lot of space here. And there's still low-end information on the side. See, this is something I've been talking about in previous videos. You need some energy on the sides if you want something to sound big. Okay, not all of it, but some of it. Let's go a little higher. She had eyes in his eyes, you know. And even here, the vocals has just a little bit of effects on the side, but it's mostly in the mid. When the star fell from the... And again, because the guitars are so big, the vocal would have a hard time coming up if it was too stereo-y. So it's very strong in the mid channel. To be feared, that's what they say. Mid. Pain and lies was what... Okay. No careful, the bruise got... He's got nothing to lose. Betrayed and lied. There's some effects on the vocals, as you can hear, some delays and reverbs, and the guitars are out, and the drum reverb, it takes a lot of space. Okay, but there's not much information in the sides, in the low range. All guitars on the sides. Effects on the drum, very shimmery reverbs. Vocals. And again, guitars in the mid channel. Not overwhelming, but present. Okay. Okay, let's go to some, for example, this hip-hop mix. Let's go a little quicker. Okay, I apologize for something. This is a mix that I've done not long ago, but I'm bad. I don't have the original track, so I had to download the MP3 for this tutorial. So this is an MP3 and you can hear it. Sounds like shit in the high end, but I apologize. I couldn't find the wave, and I wanted a hip hop mix to use for this video. And again, the vocal, dead center, but also a lot of it is on the sides. So an hip-hop mix has a lot more information compared to the metal ones, for example, in regards of the stereo information for the vocals. It has a lot of effects, it's a lot of doubler. It's just stylistically different. Let's go to the low end. And this is something important for you guys that are mixing hip hop. Listen to the sides, and in this range, there's almost nothing. This is the side information. No kick, no 808, no bass. Here's the mid. Everything is there. Your low end is there. It needs to be in phase. It needs to be mono. It needs to be solid, not stereo-y on the sides. Other stuff are gonna be stereo. Namely, all this part, the effect. This is all stereo. The delay, the choruses, the harmonies. But you always need also a strong vocals in the mono channel. This is what is going to be heard in iPhone speakers, you know, small mono system. It's going to be mono, it's going to be narrow bandwidth. You the type I could dive in and I don't need a rubber. Okay, all the effects on the sides.
Girl, can I love you? Aight. The only time you call when you wanna, you need it like right now. Got you outside and smiling when I pipe down. Pulling.
Last example, because this video is running hella long, is an acoustic track. Just guitar and vocal. This is a live recording. A mix that I did years ago.
Clock strikes upon the home and sounds begins to fade.
Okay, let's hear what's in there.
Still not time to figure out how to change my blue.
And again, this is an MP3 because I didn't have the wave, sorry. It's the my mix, I don't have it. Sorry. This is interesting. As you can hear, the guitar, it takes pretty much all the stereo field, all the side portion of the mix. This is not effect. Okay, there's also effects, and there are the reverbs of the vocals, but listen to how the acoustic guitar is in front of you, but stereo. Okay? Let's hear what's in the mono.
There, show me how, and when the night falls, my loneliness comes. Oh, I wanna dance with somebody.
Okay.
I wanna feel like here with somebody.
So in the mono portion, we do have the vocals, of course, and some mono vocal effect. But one thing I want you to pay attention is the thump of the acoustic guitar. Let's go in the low range.
Clock strikes upon the home and sounds begins to fade.
You hear the thump of the guitar. Let's go to the sides. It misses the thump, so it's being removed from the sides, the sound, the percussive sound that he does when he plays. You hear it? That thump is in the mid channel, only in the mid channel. And I know what you're thinking, oh, there's also low information in the sides for the guitar. Yes, there's only the guitar in the song. It has to have it, okay? Of course, it has some low information.
Begins to fade.
Okay, let's go.
With somebody. Yeah.
Sides.
It's somebody who loves me. Oh, I wanna dance with somebody.
Okay, this is pretty easy to analyze because there's just two elements. So, you know, the guitars are on the sides, the vocals in the mono. And what they have in common. It's pretty easy to mix. I don't want to analyze the high end because track is MP3 and it's embarrassing not to have your own mixes, but sorry. Let's hear the last one. Same session, just another song. Oh, here there was a cajon too. So we have a cajon, acoustic guitar, and vocals.
I saw the sun. Don't know why I didn't.
Sides. Again, there's the guitar. There's the stereo portion of the cajon. But no low information. Okay, let's take a listen to the mid.
I saw the sun. Don't know why I didn't come. I left you
Okay.
by the house.
Let's go. Isolating the low
I
end.
don't know why.
Some information from the guitar, as we said before, is the only instruments. It need to have some energy down there. But we have the cajon, the kick, if you want to call it like that, part of it in the mid. Vocals strong in the mid. And effects on the side and guitars on the side. Alright, this video is already way too long as is. I won't drag it any further, but yeah, I hope this was somehow informative. These were just few examples on how you can really critically analyze your mixes and referencing your mixes with others. And this is not a newbie thing, okay? In the last metal album that I recorded, the one that we will do the metal series on the channel soon, I was given a Grammy Award album as a reference. I was, and that was one of my favorite albums. I was a little bit scared. I had to compare. Okay, and sometimes you get slapped in the face. I know it's not pleasant, it's not easy, because you hear your mixes sound like kind of okay, and then you compare to the other one, and sometimes you get slapped in the face. And it's not a good feeling, it's not a good sensation. Nobody wants to feel like that. But if you work on it, you'll get it. Start to analyze, okay, what's wrong with my mix? Is the kick and the bass a relation? So let's hear the other mix. Let's hear the mid. In the low end, how does it work? What's in there? How much bass there's between 20 and 50? How much bass there's between 50 and 100? How much kick there is? What's in the side? If there's anything on the sides there, Where are the guitars? As we heard in the examples, one of the metal mixes has super stereo guitars and pretty much none of them in the mid, while the other one, the big one, has guitars in the mid too. So analyze every single element in mid and sides and isolate the bandwidth, isolate the frequency range, because that's the key. You need to zoom in. Zooming in will help you also with the masking problem that you can have on headphones or in your room and your monitoring system, okay? So this is it for today. I really hope this video was somehow informative. I really hope you liked it. If you did, please click the like button. Thank you for sharing the videos and spreading the word about the channel. Subscribe if you didn't already, and see you next time.